Senator Coyle.
Senator Gold, in 2021, the federal Liberals committed to establishing a global center for excellence on methane detection and elimination. As you well know, methane is emitted by venting and leaking during oil and gas production, as well as from forms of agriculture and from landfill sites. Methane represents about 13% of Canada's greenhouse gas emissions, which is very significant. Canada is already home to many experts in methane measurement, including Dr. David Risk of St. Francis Xavier University's Flux Lab, who won a Clean 50 award for his team's work measuring the methane emissions of over 7,000 sites in the oil and gas producing regions of Canada. The Commissioner of the Environment and Sustainable Development recently reported that the methodologies used by Environment and Climate Change Canada may be underestimating methane emissions from the oil and gas industry by anywhere from 25 to 90%. Despite the clear need for more research and the commitment, the Centre was not included in the 2023 federal budget. Senator Gold, is the federal government still committed to establishing a Centre for Excellence on Methane Detection and Elimination? Can we expect to see it in this year's fall economic statement?
Senator Gold.
Well, thank you for your question. Reducing methane emissions is one of the cheapest and fastest ways to reduce emissions and to combat climate change, as you properly point out. And that is why the Government of Canada has worked with various stakeholders and partners to implement regulations in the oil and gas sector. I'm advised that the government is on track to reduce methane emissions from the oil and gas sector by 75% by 2030, which is just about the most ambitious target in the world. As for the specifics of your question, Senator Coyle, I'll bring them to the attention of the Minister.
Senator Coyle.
Thank you very much. I look forward to hearing the answer. Will it be in the fall economic statement or not? In October 2021, the Government of Canada announced a commitment to reduce oil and gas sector methane emissions, as you have said, by at least 75% by 2030. New federal methane emissions are expected later this year. Goals are expected later this year. However, the provincial equivalency agreements with Alberta, British Columbia, and Saskatchewan allow those provinces to use their own tailored provincial regulations designed to meet the previous federal goal of 45% reduction in methane emissions by 2025. Senator Gold, could you tell us if and how the federal government will be collaborating with the provincial governments to support them in their efforts to reach these goals, and also for increasing their ambition of their provincial regulations to match the federal 2030 commitment?
Senator Gold.
Well, thank you for your question. Environmental regulation and jurisdiction of the environment is a shared one, and this government works with all provincial and territorial governments in the with the common objective of reducing emissions, promoting climate change, and promoting a transition to a sustainable, greener economy. And nowhere is that more important than the oil and gas sector, which is in many ways a leader in innovation in this area. With regard to your question, Canada's emissions reporting, as you would know, is prepared in accordance with the UN Framework Convention on Climate Change and is based upon science. But again, with regard to the more specific aspects of your question, again, I'll bring those to the attention of the Minister.
Senator